All right. So I'm here with Mark Rubin, aka Somatoast, and Gravitas is putting out his album August 23rd. It's called Goop, and we're really excited. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good. How are you doing, Jesse?
Good, man. Out here in my parents' backyard. And yeah, man, I think we've known each other since like 2012. We first met, and you were playing under the name Crazy Fingers, and I think like it was 2 or 3 people came to me and like, man, you got to check this guy's music out. And I was like, sure, yeah, totally. And John Burchett and I met up with you, and we listened to some of your stuff, and we're like, wow, this is next level. Yeah, we had some Thai food and got to know each other, and we talked about maybe changing your artist name, and out of that came Somatoast. And it's just been so exciting to see you grow as an artist and develop your sound and get to travel. And you and I got to play together at Great North Festival and see you playing all these really dope conscious festivals and growing your sound. So I just wanted to dive into your new album. Tell us a little bit about where you are at with everything and the projects you're working on.
Yeah. The new release is I've been thinking about it for maybe a year, or it's kind of been coming to fruition for a year, but a lot of the songs are like way older than that. And but I think all the songs have kind of been tied together by like a unified style that's not really having to do with how fast or slow the song is, or even the style of the beats. But I can't really pinpoint why I thought all the songs went together. They just kind of summarize the techniques and the sounds that I was exploring for the past year or two. And
I mean, I know the one thing that when you and I talk in the past is you'll sort of start to sort of learn or work on a sound design and some ideas that you have and sort of develop that. And it seems like the last 2 or 3 releases you had have been like the culmination of that sound. So tell us, I mean, without getting too technical, tell us a little bit about where you're at with some of your
like the sound. Like I definitely have spent months, maybe 2 years ago, I spent the whole year making songs I thought would be on my next release, but really I kind of ditched a lot of those and realized that those were only to better shape the skills that I used in the songs I actually am releasing.
Yeah. So,
and maybe I'll go back and release some of those, but I feel like there were definitely some trial and error, and now the sound is a bit more sculpted than it was 2 years ago.
Cool.
There are a lot of like Ableton instruments or different just random experiment things that I have ended up saving and have kind of come together to create a lot of the instruments that I use repeatedly in the new release. And they're weird, like they're instruments made of like zip. I have like a instrument called a zipper laugh, and like a soda synth, and like they're just all made like poly sounds and random things like that. And every time I use them, I'll keep trying different things with them, but they're all from like kind of this bass synth that I made. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, we had you play at Empire for Next Level a couple months back, and I heard some of these live, and then definitely really full sounds. I think your sound design is it's in a there's some other artists that you sound similar to, but I think you have a very distinct sound. I think you're always I think one of the things I really like about your music, and then also when you play live, is you really have no fear of going super mellow, super down tempo, super deep. And I think a lot of people really appreciate that, because you know, it's sort of the antithesis to the mega drops and the big bangers. And I think you just let your music really speak for itself, which is, I think is,
yeah. I mean, I hope people can appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I guess that's kind of one of the things that I've always tried to do is incorporate a more kind of mellow, more ambient touch to the dance floor. And you know, sometimes I make tracks that are really not for the dance floor at all, but at least I want to try and kind of bring both sides of the spectrum to Friday night or whatever. So
I agree. So tell us about some of some of the tunes on this new album, or you know, EP, whatever you want to call it, that tell us maybe some of the meanings and what stands out for you.
So the first one is the first track on the album is called Nodus Tollens, and the name I just got from, it was on Facebook. It was like a meme, or not a meme, but it was just a list of like, it was called Obscure Sorrows, or I think you can, if you search it, there's a website that's like a dictionary of obscure sorrows, but it was just a list of words that described feelings that we don't already have words for, and sometimes they were from other languages, or I don't know the root of every word. I don't even know the root of the name of the song, but it's called Nodus Tollens, and it means like the narrative of your life doesn't fit what you once thought it did, or something like that.
Interesting.
And yeah, I mean, I just named it that because it has really nothing to do with the song itself. Just I liked it, and I felt like the song could tell that story if you wanted it to.
Nice.
But yeah, I felt it meant something to me just in general around the time I was making that song. That song is actually like a year old now, and it's one of the more cinematic tunes on the release. I'm just really stoked on it because there's like so many different, you'll have to hear it, there's just so many different like kind of realms that it like goes through. Like first it's like cinematic, and then it breaks down and goes all crazy, and then it comes back and is like this big, more orchestral kind of, I mean, not really orchestral, but it has those elements.
Yeah, so when you make a song like that, do you think of these more like a movement? I mean, I know you went to UT for music, and do you
I actually went to UT for film. I took music production classes at UT, but yeah, I didn't actually study music in school. I mean, I took like lessons growing up and stuff like that. So I'm sorry, what was it?
In terms of, because you know, your songs are not traditional in my mind in the verse, chorus, verse kind of, you know, pop structure. Like you tell, for me, and what I love about a lot of the music, a lot of the Gravitas music that we release, and definitely your music, is that it's not so much of a pattern. You're kind of telling a story.
You know, I try and work on that. Like I try and, or like, you know, that's one of the things I want to work on is, I should make more tracks that kind of have the structure for DJing or whatever. Things like that. You know, at the same time, I never really think about it. I just kind of, I make an idea, and that idea goes where it goes, and I follow that, and I kind of let it guide me, I guess, because, you know, I'll just be working on an idea, and I'll start to hear it progress, and then I'll hear in my mind where it progresses to, and that's just kind of where I go. And towards the end of it, I might restructure it and like move things around to have a more like digestible structure. But you know, with that song specifically, I kind of just went with it, and I didn't really have a premeditated story or structure that I wanted to do. I just kind of followed it, and it worked out.
Nice.
That's really, every song is like, it either works out or it doesn't. You know, follow my ear, and it never works out, and some things do, and the ones that work out are just the ones that you hear.
Yeah. So Mark, tell me about Goop. How did that song come about? It's the title track of the EP, and it's obviously you know, one of the stronger ones there that I personally really like. So
yeah, I'm pleased with how it came out, because it's like 3 years old now, and it was just an idea I started like 3 years ago, not thinking about it. I never finished it, and I knew in the back of my mind it could be turned into a cool track. And but there were even 2 separate instances where I tried to find it again. You know, I had like gotten a new computer. It was on a backup hard drive, and I dug through the hard drive at one point and found it, and never turned into anything. And then maybe like months later, which was probably now 6 months ago, I pulled it up again, because sometimes I just go through old stuff
sure.
to get inspiration or whatever. And I pulled it up again, and I just really dug it, and I was able to kind of update it and make it into kind of a new track. But still, the basis of it was, you know, mostly created 3 years ago. But I added some synths because, you know, now I have like my Virus TI, which I'm in love with. So, you know, I had to add some Virus sounds, and you know, I added some other instruments, but basically just added a few things and mixed it to kind of be updated with my knowledge now. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out.
Awesome. So you mentioned the Virus. When did you get that?
I got that about a year ago. I got it at a pawn shop in Dallas for
nice.
steal. It was a steal. I got it for a pawn shop in Dallas for like under $1,000, and it's the full keyboard, you know?
Nice. Very cool.
Can't find that for under $1,000, I don't think, anywhere. I don't think the pawn shop knew what it was, because on Craigslist, the title of the listing was piano. They called it a piano.
Nice.
I drove up there, and yeah, I had to get it.
Well, that's lucky, man. That's nice. Yeah. And you feel like you like it because having the outboard knobs, or just kind of having its own little...
No, I got it because I just heard from other people it was cool, and I looked into it, and the sounds that people were getting out of it I really like. And I had a Novation Ultra Nova synth that I just sold, and like used that money to contribute it towards the Virus
upgrade. Very
cool. And even though, you know, I knew about the sounds that like my friends were making with the Virus, but I didn't realize what I realize now is I like it because I can make like any type of sound on there, like, you know, bass, squelchy, keys, dreamy, whatever. Like, and I really like all the sounds I get out of it, not just the squelchy ones or whatever.
Cool. What was the other song we were going to talk about?
Let's see. It was Robot Raindrops.
Yeah. So tell me about that one.
Yeah. Robot Raindrops. So that's like one of the newer tracks, like as far as like chronology and like the time, how long ago I like started it.
Mm-hmm.
But it still was made last October, so that's like still almost a year old. Yep. And that one is interesting just because for the longest time I mean, hate is a strong word, but I was not happy with that track. It was kind of the last one on the release for me to be like, okay, I'll put that on there. You know, because originally I wanted to do an 8 to 10 track release, and I had the tracks in the works, but the last few I just didn't feel were on par with the rest. So I kind of picked the best ones and said, okay, we'll do this many. And Robot Raindrops was kind of the last one that just made the cut. And I listened to it so many times, and there were just so many little things that bothered me about it. But once I decided that I would just kind of screw it and put it on there and, you know, mixed it down, I really started to like it. And now it's kind of become one of my favorites on there, when it started out to be like my least favorite. So,
interesting.
Yeah. I really like the way it turned out. And that's another one that is like 3 different kind of totally different places in one song. You know, it starts out like weird, kind of spacious, and then builds to this like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I when I listen to the entire EP from start to finish, it's sometimes if I'm working and I'm not paying attention to the tracks, like I don't even notice the segue from one song to another, and I think that's something that's really special, and I think that's something that we always look for in releases, because it's, you know, I really believe in that idea of like sitting down and listening to something from start to finish. And we try to, you know, you and Gravitas, we try to put some time into thinking about the ordering and just having
a lot about
a really fun listening experience, and everything really complementing each other. So yeah, definitely.
I thought a lot about the ordering, and I even, you know, once we got the masters back, I even went back and edited some of the songs, the beginning and ends of the masters, so they would just flow better. Like a lot of the songs, there's a lot of space in between the songs as it is, because they kind of like end slow and begin slow, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to minimize that, and ended up, you know, editing some so the beat comes in a little bit sooner. Like not huge differences, but just, you know, tiny little bits I think.
Well, awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about what you have, other things that are cooking, and you know, I know you have a new booking agent, Becca, with Street Ritual. That's really exciting. We're going to be doing a release party with you at Empire with Dirty Wolves. Like, I think it's
the release coming out close to when I do as well.
Awesome.
There'll be 2 cool Austin releases on the way.
Yeah, Austin is on the map, man. We're doing it.
Yeah.
So what else do you have going on? What do you got cooking, man? Yeah,
I'm incredibly excited about the music I've been creating with my friend Genre. He's from Denver.
Yep.
He also just released a new EP. You should check it out. It's super cool.
Sweet.
But yeah, we have a lot of tracks in the works together, and we just like discovered each other's music on the internet and ended up trying one collab, and it just flowed. We work really well together. We have similar taste and kind of musical abilities, but also complement each other.
Sure.
But so we have like 4 solid tracks right now. We have a lot more that are unfinished, but we'll definitely be doing an EP together in the near future. Yeah. And then also I have like a down-tempo EP that I pretty much have the tracks ready for. They're just, like I said, you know, this release, Goop, is going to be like my first release in almost 2 years. Not quite, but it's almost been 2 years since my last release, Tiny Thing. So there's a lot of tracks that didn't make it on Goop that I still think are good. And most of the ones I have ready are like a bit more down-tempo. So I'm thinking of doing another down-tempo EP here pretty soon as well.
Nice.
And I've also just been experimenting with up-tempo, like kind of like progressive trancey almost. Not really, but kind of that tempo.
More beat-driven stuff.
Yeah, so I'd really like to get a release together for that, but that's not as crystallized as the other 2.
Nice, man. Sounds like you're working really hard.
Yeah, I'm trying, and then just juggling, you know, normal life stuff.
Life. Yeah, well, you've been traveling a good bit. You know, what were I know you played some festivals recently. What were any highlights there that you?
Yeah, I mean, they were all my summer. Like I played, you know, like 5 festivals I think this summer. So not a lot, but I mean, each and every one of them was amazing. Yeah. You know, every year for me gets better as far as where I get to go and whatnot. So, yeah, I'd say I really enjoyed Cascadia Fest in Washington. That was definitely a highlight, but they were all highlights, you know.
Yeah.
Fire was cool. Solar Flux, Pirate Party. They were all great. Co-creation. That was really.
Yeah.
Even I'm biased because it's Austin, and it's my friends, but like they really pulled something amazing together, and I definitely see it as something that will just get better every year. So
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. I mean, I know you're not so much on the promotion side of it, but Chad and everybody really, um, Gravitas was doing our party, our monthly at Barcelona, and then, um, Create Culture was doing Wednesdays at Lanai, which was more of a house club, and then Lanai closed, and they moved over to Empire, and we followed a few months after, and now like Empire Wednesdays at Empire have just been amazing, and I think Austin
Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yeah, they've just been waiting for something like this. It's so amazing to see all the painters and the vendors and art come out, and it's really like our tribe of people, and hardly any city really has that. Even places like LA or San Francisco, you'll see that, but for us to have it kind of just slow and steady, and being able to bring in people, like White Bear or Buku or Amp Live, or some of the people that we've had, some of the people that they brought are just acts that you normally wouldn't even get to see, but because we've got this really solid built-in night, we're able to have some really somewhat undiscovered talent, but they come, and there's a proper crowd and sound system for everybody. So
yeah, I think we made a nice little pocket here for all sorts of music, and
definitely.
I'm proud to be from Austin.
Yeah, well, absolutely great to catch up, man. We'll like I said, we'll have the music sitting underneath these as we talk about these tunes, so people can kind of reference that. And we're really excited to be working with you. You're an awesome person, amazing artist, and just always love connecting with you, man.
Yeah, of course. And you guys have been totally integral to everything I've been doing for over the past 4 years.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Well, great. First Gravitas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I still go back and listen to that one. It's really good. Got a little bit of an internet connection. So yeah, man, we'll end it here. But much love, brother, and we will. I can't wait to get this release out and share it with everyone.
Me too. I hope everybody enjoys it.
All right. Talk to you later, Mark. Have a good one.